Modern women have made dating incredibly hard for men.
This is what a woman behaves like when she has genuine burning desire for a guy. She'll show up on time, she'll call, text you without making the first attempt, she'll respond quickly, she'll enter your frame, she'll compliment your life, not be the focus of it. She'll often initiate intimacy with you unprovoked.
At some point in their life, every man realizes where he fits in the hypergamy totem pole. He can change his lifestyle and perhaps move up some. However, the important thing is that he needs to gauge his effort and the women he pursues based on this position. And most importantly, he must learn the signals of female nature to avoid the manipulation traps they all set. It's as this guy said, being a walking ATM for modern-day women doesn't make you a real man, it makes you a fool. A lot of people are out here throwing around shaming language and all up in your business when you're not caught in the same trap they find themselves in. Everyone is trying to sell you on their way of thinking as an angle to benefit you in some respect. Think for yourself. Take parts of everything you hear and form your conclusions. As George Carlin said, we're in a world rampant with BS. It's everywhere.
Would you rather be married and miserable or single and lonely?
Single and lonely, as long as I have my money. If you not my thought process, I cannot have you around me because you're gonna fuck up my life.
Can you be lonely and not miserable?
You can be lonely and have a blast.
9 times out of 10, when somebody tells you they're lonely, are they happy?
No.
Are they happy?
No.
I disagree.
Are they happy?
I've been lonely
I
and happy.
disagree.
You can be lonely and happy. You cannot be miserable and happy. It doesn't make sense.
When I'm feeling lonely, it's easier for me to feel loved if I go around people I love. When I'm miserable, I could be around y'all and I'm still
miserable.
Men today can be divided into two categories. The first group is the weak men who indulge the whims of women. The second category consists of blue pills, who want to please women to have close relationships with them and discover genuine love. They respect the wishes of women. Then there are the men who follow their own path and take seriously women's assertions that they don't require men. If this is the case, they contend, then enjoying intimacy and taking all of the risks are no longer adequate justifications for a man to stay in a relationship. Men used to die in conflict with less pain and suffering, at least in the past. Nowadays, a man is in a much worse predicament than a man who perishes in battle if he gets divorced and loses his home, kids, wife, sense of purpose, respect, and self-esteem. Women merely want us to fall for the trap and engage in a rigged game of love is our battlefield with them. Women gain power by portraying weakness because it motivates males to step up, get involved, and take care of them. Dating is easy for women. Finding Prince Charming, Chad, Christian Grey, Mr. Perfect, the 6'4" ripped billionaire, that's what these women are complaining about. For any of those women who are saying they can't find a man, you could show them a room with 100 men who are willing to go out with them, and women would weed out every single one of them within a few minutes.
All the sexual power that women have when they're young falls off a cliff in extraordinary rapidity. Now, here's the thing, though, is that when we're young and we have less sexual market value than women, supply and demand, hormones and receptivity, we can screw up for a while, and I'm sure everyone has, I know I have, but then you can recover, right? So, I went to theater school. I got a history degree because I'm all about the earning, right? But then I was like, wake up, dude. And I went and started a software company. So you can shake it off and you can turn things around. If a woman takes full advantage of that sexual magnetism of youth and, hoingo boingos around the community, then by the time she hits her late 30s, it's too late. And then you get like a half century of regret. And one of my biggest tweets was me just saying, women, your eggs die at 40, you live to 80. What are you gonna do for 40 years?
A man doesn't mind being single because his life won't change. Either way, single or married, a man is expected to have a job and provide for himself and his family. Being single makes that job easier and gives men more time to invest in hobbies or better themselves in general. A woman, however, traditionally depends on a man for almost everything and is not happy being childless and having to work her whole life and support herself.
A woman, you might ask her, like, well, what age guy would you date? And she'll say out of her mouth, oh, I'm 19. I want to date a guy who's like 19 to 22. And then she goes out in the world, meets me, and then she's like, well, I like him. And then that's like kind of like the end of the whole thing. That's how women are actually operating in real life. And we do have clinical immaturity. If a woman dates a guy who's younger than her, this is a major red flag. Females who date down in age are usually very messed up in here because they're looking to have a target that's easy to manipulate, to control, and to dominate.
Women biologically want to be mothers and want to be at home while the man provides, and a woman hits the wall. Those days for her are gone, and she will be unhappy while a single man of the same age will be living his best life. That's the harsh fact women have to face. Some face it early and live their lives happy as they raise their children and become the nurturers they're biologically designed to be, and others keep prolonging this realization until it hits them hard when they can't even do anything about it.
Are women happier than men, or are men happier than women? Let's get into it. I got some science for you today. Studies show that men are actually happier than women. Women constantly score higher in neuroticism in psychological studies. What is neuroticism? Neuroticism is a trait that tends to experience negative emotions like anger, anxiety, self-consciousness, irritability, emotional instability, and depression. Why is this so? Differences in brain chemistry and hormone fluctuations. Women are more prone to stress and ruminate. Men tend to engage in active problem-solving behaviors when they experience stress. And because of their coping mechanism, they are not experiencing as much negative emotions.
Throughout history, the genes of women who were more effective in influencing men have been passed on to the next generations. They hate MGTOW because it goes against what they believe, and they are furious with us since we took what they said literally, rather than using it as a test to put them in their appropriate place. Men will, however, go their own way and look for other reasons for existing in addition to defending women, as women assert their power more and more. If women don't need our protection, why are we still around? While women want men to stick by their sides, look after them, and listen to their problems, they also want men to think they are independent of them. Men who prefer to act independently tend to stay away from women and refrain from playing the game. Instead, we decide to stay in the grubby liberal cities. Never stop focusing on your purpose. It's as simple as that. As soon as you focus on her, it is game over, and it's emotionally draining. Never put a woman on a pedestal. Make sure she earns your validation. She will respect you more when you do that. Some men are single because they have had enough of their kindness being mistaken for weakness instead of being valued for what it is. Learn stoicism, control your emotions, don't bury them, become strong, not weak, and accept that you may be alone. It's not that scary. You are stronger than you think. Being single gives men the freedom to pursue their interests, their careers, and improve themselves, all without the drama and trauma of a woman being involved. Men with a clear purpose are happy men and in peace. Modern women truly fear single men. Not one, but women are afraid of single men, and the more single men they see, the more cause for anxiety they have. To understand this, we must first examine the fundamental physiology and thought processes of women. I've already talked about hypergamy in the past, and how women are constantly seeking the ideal partner. Let me now talk about how women cherish their perception and self-respect. Many things will start to make sense and fall into place once you realize that. Women are the epitome of attractiveness and beauty. This is their key selling point, and is generally acknowledged. Women are often utilized as symbols of lust and love, since a woman's attractiveness is her most powerful tool. That is what made her desirable in the past, the reason why the beauty industry exists, why jewelry has been worn for thousands of years, why makeup has been used since ancient Egypt, and why women place such emphasis on their appearance. They will find better suitors the more they can make themselves look like that. A woman will have a sizable pool from which to select her ideal partner, and she will almost surely select the one with the highest value. That implies that the size of the pool a woman may attract is the main determinant of her value in society. If no one approaches her and she is turned down, she will become completely worthless. If you think being rejected as a man hurts, wait till you see how rejection affects women. When they are rejected, women completely break down. They simply aren't accustomed to it. When a date is canceled or they are rejected, women have a hard time digesting the truth. Some women like these can even be found on TikTok. When they are in their late 20s and have fewer options for partners, you'll find them more frequently. Women, particularly contemporary women who were the most hypergamous women ever, fear single men who were content with their lives. It makes them sick to their stomachs to see a single man, and yet who is so happy and doing so well, isn't asking for attention from women. This is not solely my viewpoint. Every stand-up comic and successful man who has easy access to women will admit that they analyze the cost-to-rewards ratio and discovered it to be negative. In reality, the danger to benefit ratio declines even further when you take into account contemporary problems like harassment legislation, divorce pitfalls, and allegations. The woman no longer has control over men. Thus, it poses a serious threat. Women would be pursuing men, while men would be too preoccupied with their objectives to give a damn if these men had inspired even more men. Remember that women's attractiveness and appeal are finite, and the instant she reaches her limit, she will leave the dating scene. The value of a man, on the other hand, will increase if he stays unmarried since he has nothing to lose. She will be in a lot of trouble if she doesn't find a boyfriend right away. She has no other choices if the man doesn't show any interest in her. To find the actual and ideal man, women rely on this fantasy and date hundreds of guys in this manner. Because they have consistently disobeyed what society has advised them to do, lone guys are akin to rebels in that system. Many successful and educated guys understand that women exaggerate their feelings. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.